All right. So what I am seeing the most on this is I think you turn this into a little bit more of your traditional deadlift. Like so, like if you were in your competition, you would. So I'll actually just show you. So your setup is very nice. I think we still need to work on um, your your upper back a little bit because you can kind of see here. I'll draw it out. Is it kind of has a small curve, not too bad. This seems pretty good right there, so that's pretty good. So really, just keep hammering at that upper back, laying on the sandbag and trying to open that spot up. I think that's still pretty important for that. But other than that, your setup's pretty good. Okay, so as we go, let's see, where do you start? Right there. Okay, so right there. So here you have your shoulders. Your shoulders pretty much in line with um, the bar. Okay, which is good. Your shoulders. Okay, I would actually probably bring your shoulders a little bit back, so maybe sit in a little bit more. So maybe where your butt's right here, maybe put it maybe down here. So maybe move your butt down just a tiny, tiny bit more. Um, but overall, that seems pretty good. Okay. So as you go, so so let me draw that straight line again because that's where. So as you bring that bar up, that's where we need to keep the bar, or the yeah. So the bar, that's where we want our bar path. So we want our bar path and our shoulders to be in line until we get to those knees. That's where, I was telling you last time when we were together that when we pass the knees, that's kind of when we kind of change things a little bit. Um, but so as we go, right there, now your barbell's over here, right? Maybe not that far, but here, okay, and then kind of sweeping it back, and that's where. So it was more here. And so now this is your new line, and now your barbell is behind the shoulders a little bit. So we want to bring that barbell along this first line here. Okay, so as we set up, this should become, uh, the shins should be touching the barbell at the bottom, right? So as you go up, okay, your shins should not necessarily, I don't want to say they shouldn't change, but they shouldn't change significantly, right? So you should stay kind of along this first line, okay? And that's because that's where your shoulders are, okay? So we need that barbell to stay in line with our shoulders, okay? So let me clear that stuff, okay? But then, so actually, let me keep that line. Because once you get here, you're actually pretty straight. Okay. And so now you can see here, this is where your barbell ends up because now you're around the knee area. I think your knees are about here. Um, so now your barbell's here, which if we go back to the starting, is now in. Ooh, shit. Sorry. Is God damn it. Is now in line with this barbell. Okay. So we need to make sure that where the barbell is starting on the ground stays in that plane until we get to our knees. Okay, so let's fast forward. Okay. So you're already done one, so okay, here we go. All right. So like I said, you kind of sweep it back and then you kind of pull along that plane, and then you bring it back out, and that's where you hold it. So I would want, and so like I said with the shoulders and the barbell, is we want those shoulders to be in line with this barbell. Okay. So your shoulder, so I would have you lean a little bit more forward on that position. Okay. And then the hold's nice and stable. The back's pretty good. I mean, that's how you started. So you didn't like break too much on the hold. So you kept that same position. Like I said, we still need to work a little bit on this part. Okay, just a little bit, but other than that, um, you didn't break as you fatigued. Okay, so as you go. Okay, so now I'll just do this one more time. So let me clear this. So here's your barbell and here's your shoulders. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's nice and in line. Okay, and as we go. Okay, and again, not too bad, right? Not too bad. I mean, for 1 week on working on the upper back, it's pretty good. Okay. So now we start. This one's actually pretty good, but you still kind of sweep those shoulders back. So the barbell is actually moving along that plane nice and easy. It's just your shoulders are moving a little bit. And I just think that it's just from you and maybe your natural deadlift. I mean, you've been deadlifting a whole lot more than Olympic weightlifting, so obviously that's going to take over relatively quickly. But still not bad. Um, I just think if we were to be here, you're gonna be closer to being more upright. So say you're gonna be upright right here, right? So if you end, let's see where you end on your shoulders. Okay, so you end there. So this is where your shoulders are. Okay, let me. Yes, I don't have an erase button, but that's okay. So we want our shoulders to be here, right? But your shoulders are here. The issue with maybe not being as leaned over as you could be, okay, is now we lost. Sorry, that much. Stupid thing. That much distance in between. So now we lost power that we could have generated here. Okay. So now we're going from. So if we were to clean in this position, you would only gain power from here to here, because this is where we're gonna enter into our extension, right? So if we get you to lean a little bit more, now we can get power generated over this much area. So you're going to be able to produce a lot more power pulling that barbell back into your hip, right? And it's going to allow for just putting more weight on the bar, okay? So, and then as we go, still your upper back is still pretty clean, which is good. And you come down, so you see how shoulders in line with the barbell. So this is where we want to be, all the way up until we hit just above the knee. So when we go into our hang clean, right, where it's the dip, hinge at the hips, unhinge, stand up, that's where the barbell and our shoulders are going to fire backwards, and then that's where our hips are going to extend upwards. Okay, But until that point, we need to keep this barbell in your shoulders over each other, right in line. Okay? And we'll just keep looking. I think this is your third one. Yeah, might as well. Okay. So pretty good, pretty good. And that's so the barbell again kind of comes back a little bit. Not gonna be that much of a stickler about it, but the shoulder. Now, like I said, it's not that it's wrong per se. Like it's not. I don't want to say it's not correct. It's just you're losing power because now you're just losing. Goddamn, sorry. Um, you're losing space to produce momentum backwards and to produce more power to get a heavier barbell up. Okay, so you kind of bring that barbell back um, in line. So not too bad on the bar path. It's just the shoulders. We want to just lean a little bit farther in, which means that we're going to need to pin these shoulder blades back. Okay, so we really need to squeeze those lats and really bring those shoulders back, like I said, in the meathead chest. Okay, and that will allow you to kind of stay a little bit more balanced as we bring your chest over. Bringing those lats back will stabilize back here, right? We're going to squeeze our butt maybe a little bit more, and that's how we're going to kind of balance ourselves out. Okay? So for that one, I think that is your last one. Yep, that is your last one. So that one I would say is pretty good. Just a few things like your shoulders. And I think it was only the first one where your barbell kind of swooped a little bit, but other than that, nothing too bad.